appreciate you, dog, tuning in from LA. For those that don't know, you know what I'm saying. So I know it's a little early on your end, but I know hustlers always up, and
Facts.
that's what I know you to be. I
What
definitely want to get into that, let them people know, who we got on the show today, what you've been on. Just want to give a little context. You know what I'm saying? I met Ish Millie basically via through the IG, you know what I'm saying? Because we actually share these mutual spaces and communities via way of NFTs and these crypto communities, you know what I'm saying? But without further ado, I definitely want Ish to just get into, like, you know what I'm saying, who you are type.
Yeah, man, top of the top, man. Nice to be here. Like crypto don't sleep, so I'm always up.
Hey Brody, is there any way you could talk into your mic a little closer, or could you like
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay, good. My bad, bro. I could have.
No, you're good. You're good.
You good.
I bet. So yeah, man. I was saying, 5:35 in the morning. I'm always up like iced tea, tracking my crypto, my investments and all that. But yeah, man, I'm a blockchain guy, man. I've been in blockchain since 2017. My background was in influencer marketing. I've worked with a lot of really, really famous, dope people, and always did something in the capacity of the blockchain with them. People like the late great Nipsey Hussle. I worked with Floyd Mayweather, DJ Khaled, and recently just became kind of like an NFT addict. And I'm loving it, man. Like, we just got that ApeCoin airdrop. I own
we definitely gonna get into that. We definitely gonna get into that.
So yeah, man, I've just been, I've been that someone who's been all in, like all money in with the NFT wave. And
and when did NFTs, when would you say they kind of came across your radar? Because I think it's coming across people's radars now and in the last couple years heavy, but to my understanding, it's been around since 2014, 2013. When did it kind of come across your radar?
I heard about the concept when they, what was that stuff with the cats? What was it?
The crypto kitties.
Crypto kitties.
Crypto kitties, yeah.
Yeah.
So, to me, it was all nerd talk. Like, I was like, what is this? Like, I just judged it from a surface level in terms of like the art, and it didn't resonate with me. It didn't speak with me. I didn't understand what utility was. And that must have been like back in 2017, right? I never heard about the crypto punks. I wish I did. I basically just really got into NFTs because of Clubhouse. What I noticed a trend where a lot of people are changing their profile pictures to monkeys and cats and dogs and rooms, and people were just having conversations about NFTs and NFTs and NFTs, and kind of like subconsciously forced me to listen. And being the curious person that I am, I wanted to understand why these things were rising in value. And I remember I did a room on Clubhouse called "Convince Me to Buy a Bored Ape," and that was the title of the room. And I was actually being sarcastic.
Yeah,
right. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so these guys came on there and started like really, really pouring their heart out, telling me, yo, when I bought the ape, it looked like me. When I bought the ape, I felt like I was part of a brotherhood. And so it forced me to start to like look at it from a different angle. Like, you know what? This stuff really means something to these people. Maybe I can buy one and sell it to people like this. Because, being a businessman. And so I decided to just, start tracking it. And every day the stuff kept rising in value. When I first started looking at them, it was about 2 weeks after the mints, or maybe a couple of days after. And it went from 1,000 to 2,000, 3,000. So I finally came in at about $6,000 and bought my first ape. And then I went on Twitter, which I had no presence on, and posted, just bought a bored ape follow ape. I was just, following the trend. And today I had hundreds of people following me. So I was like, okay, if these people all own a bored ape and the price is $6,000, this is networking at its finest, right? I'm connecting with people who got, a little bit of paper, and I'm part of that community. So I kind of like fell in love with the ape at that point, changed my profile picture to it. It was just a flex. I got a $6,000 profile picture. And then I bought another one because the intention was I'll keep one and I'll sell one. And I got both of them till today.
There you
Yeah.
go. I want to definitely take it a little, even kind of not even going back, but right in the midst of it, bro. Like one thing that I see, one thing that you really be standing on, you try to make sure like a lot of this information isn't too technical for people. And like one thing you try to be like, yo, if you have some type of intention you want to get in here, you don't need to be a developer. You don't need to be somebody that has some type of Web3 background. And I always it seems like you always trying to emphasize like the easiest bridge to getting into the spaces. Cause I also know you have your NFT master classes, and you also have like a lot of other like consultancy as it pertains to like just dropping gems for people that want to be entrepreneurs. So when I'm touching that, can you talk about more so how you go about generating actual passive income through these digital products, and then how the NFTs have started to make you be like, wow, now I can start offering education to a whole another sector type thing.
No, I'll keep it a buck. I've made millions from NFCs, and I'm very blessed to be in this situation, especially for someone who didn't have an NFC a year ago, right?
Right.
I currently own about 2,500 NFCs. I've done my own drop.
Sheesh.
I've worked on 31 sold out projects as an advisor or an investor in some capacity. And, I just noticed that the disconnect was just, it was a bunch of nerds that felt like gatekeepers. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was like if you weren't one of them, you weren't part of it. Was kind of like high schoolish.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
NFTs like really, really took off on Clubhouse, and then Twitter Spaces came around, and so a lot of people didn't have a voice. Like they won't let you speak. You couldn't ask questions. It was just a bunch of guys just talking this gibberish amongst themselves. And I was like, man, I got to get to it, man. Like me and Nipsey used to talk about the blockchain, and RIP Nip. Nip always used to emphasize how important it was for people of color to be involved, right? That was his message about this. Like, this is going to liberate us. This is going to give us an opportunity to really leave that mantra, fuck the middleman, right? So, I guess, for me, that really, really resonated with me because I felt like, I have a cell phone, right? This is my cell phone. I don't even know how to use this stuff like to its full capacity. I
Right.
definitely don't understand how this works. Right now, we're on StreamYard. I'm able to use the technology, but I don't understand the architecture of it.
Right.
So why focus on the architecture instead of the application? And so that's my mindset when it comes to like technology. I feel like this is not just a technology. This is also a booming emergent asset class. And if people felt like it was too complicated, if it wasn't digestible, then they wouldn't be interested in it. And I knew that that
Right.
was going to, not be the right approach. So I've always emphasized making it very digestible. So, we have a bunch of products. Like I have NFC Masterclass, which I now give away for free if you own a Rich Ape, which is an NFC project that that I launched. That people there was a high demand for it because the way we packaged that was you buy the masterclass, you get a free NFC. Some people bought it just because of the free NFC, and that
Right.
NFC was a derivative of one of my Bored Apes. So, and people liked it aesthetically. I collaborated with a lot of people in the space that I felt knew more than me. Some I felt like I knew more than them. I never looked
Right.
at anyone as competition, bro. I always felt like it was collaboration over competition. And I was on a mission to kind of like onboard people in the space, and I'm still on that mission. Because it's done very well for me, and I feel like
100%.
everyone is in a
100%.
position
Before
right
I
now.
get into it, you got any?
Yeah, everyone can be in a position to make a lot of money with Web3. It's liberating, man.
Nah,
Yeah,
hell yeah.
for sure. And I kind of want to touch on Brooke was saying, yeah, you don't necessarily have to be a developer and everything like that. So you said you have a background in digital marketing, right?
Digital marketing. Then I started doing influencer marketing
Okay,
specifically.
so how did the skills that you have before you encountered NFTs and blockchain and Web3 and everything like that, how did the skills that you had, whether it's from digital marketing or anything that you did prior, like how did that line up so well that you could find success in this space so quickly? Because you said, bro, you didn't own an NFT what, a year ago? Is that what you
Right.
said?
Right.
Well, I mean, the first time I decided I was going to get involved with NFTs was when I read the headline about Beeple doing $69 million.
Okay.
Oh my God,
Yo,
that's
that's
crazy because
crazy.
that
You
was like
said it,
that
it
was
was like,
like
oh.
8 months ago. That was
Right,
not long
right,
ago at
I
all.
was like, what the fuck is going on? And then
Yeah.
I think in the same week I read about the NBA doing $250 million in revenue from
On Top Shot.
from
Yep.
Top Shots.
Yeah.
So, from my background doing influencer marketing, I had a working relationship and a friendship with Floyd Mayweather. So I immediately started brainstorming, how do we get Floyd involved? Floyd is clearly a legend.
Right.
If the NBA can do 250 million, I'm sure we could do some damage with Floyd. So
Yeah.
I put together, a deal where, we got Floyd involved and we did his first NFT project. And that was kind of like a learning curve for me. That was part of the early part of the learning curve for me. Because my assumptions were if you're famous and you have a large following on social media, it would translate into NFT activations and mints. And I learned quickly that there are four layers to an NFT project being successful. You need the art, you need the community, keyword community. You need the blockchain side of it, the smart contract and all that good stuff. And then you also need marketing, right? You need to market what you're selling. And if all those four components aren't in sync, then there's conflict. Like when we did the first Floyd drop, we had issues with the smart contract, right? That wasn't my fault. That wasn't Floyd's fault, right? When we did the second drop, which was more of a generative drop, we had issues with community, right? So, all this was just all, it was like a new slate. You had to relearn things that you learned in Web 2 when it came to Web 3. So a lot of those skill sets did help me, but I would say that I had to relearn a lot of things.
And that's dope.
I mean,
So,
I wasn't the guy on
Good.
Discord. I wasn't the guy on Discord. You know what I'm saying? Till today, I'm not comfortable with Discord. I didn't have a Twitter account. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know any Web3 developers, so we went with what we had, and so it
Wait,
was
so
like
if you didn't have any of these socials back then, how were you doing your networking? How were you meeting people? And I know you said Clubhouse, right? But were there any other ways?
when the first thing we did when we did the Floyd Mayweather generative drop was we leveraged an existing community. So what we did was we actually went out there and looked for a community that already had people that had bought NFTs, knew what a MetaMask was and all that good stuff, right? So we basically connected with this community called Bulls on the Block, and that was the leverage that helped us accelerate that, right? And yeah, I was networking. I was networking with people on Clubhouse. I was like a fly on the wall, just soaking up knowledge, man. I became very curious about it, and then I started asking people what NFT should I buy, and people that I felt had the knowledge. Some of them just gave me bullshit advice, and some of them gave me solid advice. And when we sold out the Floyd drop, people started reaching out to me to advise them on projects, and that's how I started becoming an advisor. And just applying some of the mistakes that I made, so that they could avoid them.
Yeah.
And then I just got better and better, and I'm still learning.
no, that's dope, bro. So, like, and one thing I wanted to ask too is, so in the midst of all of this, and when you actually buy your Bored Ape, do you buy it fully with the intent? You know exactly what you can do with that IP. So, like, when you buy your Bored Ape, are you already thinking of how you're going to extend that brand to further brands and NFT drops, or is this something that comes along the line? And now, when you're looking at the space at large, you're like, oh, this is something that I'm capable. This is what I'm able to do. So I might as well do it because, and then from there, I do want you to just segue into the Rich Apes drop and definitely let people know exactly what the Rich Apes collection is as well. And the Smoking Apes, how they're examples of derivatives of that Bored Ape project, but you have the rights to do that. So now you're literally capitalizing and taking advantage of the utility aspects of the NFTs. So could you talk about that process? Literally, you getting that Bored Ape and realizing, oh, I got this IP to make shit shake.
So when I bought the Bored Apes, I think I bought them on June. I can't remember the specific date. Maybe June 1st last year was when I bought the first one. My intent was solely to flip it. Like, this was a big deal for me. Spending $6,000 for a JPEG was
right.
kind of like, it was kind of like extreme, right? And so I'm thinking, okay,
now you be dropping that 6K every other day.
Yeah,
you be dropping that 6K every other day on the joint.
Something you never
I
done
wish I
before.
would have
It
found the
sounds crazy.
But yeah, when I spent that 6,000 for the first Bored Ape, my intention was, man, if I can just sell this thing for 10,000, 12,000, I came up, I doubled up, right?
Right.
And I'd heard about the utilities, but I didn't see anyone applying that. I didn't see no one out there taking full advantage of the commercial rights, right? At that time. I saw people making like one-on-one derivatives on some show-off type shit. Like, look at what I made, I made this for you type of thing. I never saw anyone apply that on a commercial level. And so I just never really thought much about it. But, because I was very transparent about my journey, I remember the first time I put up a survey and I was like, I just spent $12,000 on these monkeys. Y'all think I'm a visionary or y'all think I'm crazy? And I promise you, 97% of the feedback was, you're crazy. I started thinking I was fucking crazy.
Damn, no bullshit. No bullshit. That's how I feel.
Yeah, so bottom line was, my intent was to flip him. And when it got to the point where I reached the point where I could flip him, I was sort of like emotionally connected to him. I just felt like, man, this didn't feel right to sell him. I was like, yo, this stuff is, and at that time I was already embedded in the community. I was reading up about what the value of
I'm about to say, I'm sure the value was still rising, bro. So it's like it's worth keeping. You know what I'm saying? It's just getting more and more valuable every day.
What do I have to lose? Exactly. Like, what do I have to lose? So then what happened was it came out with the mutant apes. I remember when that happened, when they were like, I just read a text. It was a tweet from Yuga Labs said, fuck it, mutant this weekend. Serum this weekend or some shit like that. And I was like, what is that?
Serum.
And it flew from like 20 ETH to like, I think it was like 30 ETH in one weekend. But prior to that, I convinced a friend of mine to buy a Bored Ape at 4 ETH. And his name is Zuby. And I was like, Zuby, you got to get in. I spent 4 days convincing him to buy a Bored Ape. So he bought one and he sold it at 9 ETH, went to Miami, rented a yacht, made $16,000 in profit. And I remember feeling like, man, am I being dumb? Why don't I just take the money and run?
Right.
Why am I still holding on to this?
You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like, Zuby regrets that till today. That's probably the worst mistake he ever made. But cut the long story short, I kept the Bored Apes. I got the mutant apes. I was lucky enough. I got an M2 serum and an M3. And you know what I mean? Like, no, M2 and an M1, excuse me.
I was like M3. Oh, you got legendary status. Hold up.
I got an M1 and an M2, excuse me.
Okay.
It's been a while. So cut the long story short, I saw the value of the utilities, right? And, financially at least, right? And I got a lot of clout from owning Bored Apes, not just one, but two. So I didn't want to lose that status. You know what I'm saying? Because, it made you look kind of like, oh, you saw something coming. When really all I did was take a chance. And, a friend of mine, I've never met this guy till today. Just like I've never met Brooke or whatever. I met a lot of people online that I've never met in person. And we built real friendships. His name is Humble Living Art Projects. He's out of Connecticut. He would always send me, NFCs that he made for me. Like some of them will be my picture. And one day he made one of my ape. And I was like, you know what? This is ugly, bro. What are you doing? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to help you with the art direction. Why don't you do this and do that? And I was like, okay, bet. How many of this can you make for me in 3 days? True story. And he was like, how many do you need? I was like, can you make me 100? He goes, give me 5 days. I was like, you know what? We're going live tomorrow. At the moment you make it, we're going live. And I hit up Brooke. True story. Brooke is right there. And I was like, Brooke, I need a website. I'm going live today. I didn't have no Discord.
Same day.
I didn't have a Twitter. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, what do I have to lose? I own the IP. I can do this, right? Let's have fun. So we had the art. I worked out a payment with him. I paid Brooke for the website. And I put it on Rarible. I minted it myself. And Rarible started having glitches. People couldn't mint. And I promise you, I sold 86 smoking apes. At the pre-sale, it was 0.2. Hand to hand. I mean, people had to send me the Ethereum. Then I had to send them the apes. And, bro, that's when I knew it was real. I sold out the 100. I was number one on Rarible for the sales first. And I did the public sale at 0.3. sold another 435. This was like a month or two ago, right? Like 60 days ago, and did about $450,000 in revenue. Spent $0 in marketing. And part
Sheesh.
of the roadmap was you guys are gonna get a free NFT called the Rich Apes because I had the domain name. So I found another artist to make the Rich Apes, another derivative, and right now we sold about 1,550 out of 4,444, all organic. Um, Made over $250,000 in
Talking
revenue.
about that sweepstakes too, man. Little
Yeah.
2 ETH reward.
So the marketing strategy behind the Rich Apes is, NFTs have made me a lot of money, and I wanted to give back. So in the collection, there are 50 gold apes, and if you mint some of them, not all of them, we're paying people as much as 2 ETH as an instant reward. We've paid out 4 of them. There's still 6 left. So if you mint one of the gold ones that we're looking for, you keep the ape, you keep all the benefits. The gold apes, all of them come with access to a community called Goldfinger. They give you a $2,000 membership for free because you have a gold ape. And if you have the right one, you get 2 Ethereum. And then we added another 24 that are left in the collection where you get 0.25 Ethereum instantly. So we just wanted to make it fun for people, reward people for taking action. This is not one of those drops that I intend to sell out immediately because it's
Right.
really a tool to onboard new people in the space. And the utilities are phenomenal. Like we have weekly crypto classes. We not just NFT classes. We're teaching people about yield farming, staking. Tonight we have a class with a CPA talking about how to set up your structure, your business structure, and
Tough.
we've had people teach us how to leverage NFTs, like borrow against your portfolio
Oh
to
man.
buy
tough.
more NFTs. So for me, I feel like if you provide good value, in no time we're going to sell that out. I'm kind of bothered we haven't sold it out, but I'm not tripping, bro. It's a marathon,
Hell yeah.
Facts.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
No, that's facts. So I guess what are the most important things when you're counseling some of these celebrities on their NFT drops? And all right, let's rewind a little bit. I know I wanted to pinpoint something that you said when you said you did the first one with Floyd Mayweather, and in that you realized there was some things that you know what I'm saying, kind of had to learn. I want to know what you learned from that and what you kind of realize now that you've done so many, you know what I mean? What are some of the most important things to consider when doing an NFT release so that you can have success with it?
Well, I mean, the most important thing is just being tapped in with the community, right?
Yeah.
So people really don't care if you're a legend like Floyd, if you're influencer.
I was about to say, like, how does a nigga like Floyd or somebody like, you know what I'm saying, Trey Songz or something, like, how do they have time to be tapped in with like the Discords and all that type of shit? Like,
so in Floyd's situation, Floyd wasn't involved as much as
Yeah.
we expected. And that's understandable. That's Floyd Mayweather, God damn it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a legend.
Right.
And a billionaire athlete. So, the assumption that Floyd would come out and hang out in the Discord was unrealistic in the first place, right?
Right.
But I think now Floyd himself understands that this stuff is here to stay. When we did the Trey Songz drop, it was done through Binance, and that was done overseas. Like no one in the US could actually access that NFT. So that was a different scenario. Binance did all the marketing, and part of the way the NFT was structured was, there's some experiences a handful of people get to have access to Trey. And so generally speaking, bro, I try to stay away from celebrity drops. I try to use celebrities as part of the community, not just doing an NFT centered around an individual. It really isn't Web 3.0 friendly to do it that way. I think people want to be in Web 3. There's a mantra which is community over anybody. Like no one really gives a fuck about who you are.
That's really interesting because I feel like early on, that's something that me and you had talked about it. We had noticed. I remember when The Weeknd had that drop 100%. On Nifty Gateway, and we kind of just were like, not that we're huge fans of The Weeknd, but we were like, oh, like this should blow up because it's The Weeknd.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It did not.
It was definitely.
I think it was ASAP Rocky or Travis Scott or one of them had another joint, and it was like, oh, this should go up just because of who it is, and it did not. You know what I'm saying?
I was definitely going to say it was definitely through Nifty Gateway drops, and I ain't gonna lie, like Nifty Gateway was the platform that I seen literally was in the lead and literally tricked off their lead because they just saturated it over and over. Celebrity drop, celebrity drop, celebrity drop. Meanwhile, if you tapped into the community and you actually look at the art that's actually coming from a lot of these artists, like, yo, this shit's actually way better. And what people actually did in the community is like, yo, let's just put that shit on the pedestal. Let's put that on the platform because y'all already got this clout in this Web2 space. So
Right.
like, and then when it came over to here, it's like, yo, everybody was just seeing the type of time that people were putting in these spaces and like, yo, I don't see you guys here. You guys just come
Yeah,
here
I
when you
think,
got an NFT drop. So
I
I
think
could definitely see how like that sentiment started to just build from there. But yo, bro, I definitely wanted to touch on this ape coin, yo. This shit kind of crazy. I want to know how you and overall too, because I know you came into the Clone X on the back end when they revealed, and then you got that box drop and all these. How you feel about all these drops that these projects are just giving? They like, yo, you don't gotta go nowhere, you don't gotta sell nothing. We got you. We gonna give you this bread. Just hold that NFT. We gonna throw you this money. Like, how you feel about this shit? Because I think this shit is fucking nuts. Think this shit, you niggas getting airdropped whole homes in a night. You feel me? So like, how you feeling about this ape coin, man?
well, I just looked it up right now. I just got $333,600 for free. You know what I mean? like that's what my wallet is looking like right now. So how do you think I feel about it? I mean, I feel really good about it. I feel like it's the power of Web 3.0. It's a two-way thing. It's, not only is ApeCoin the value going up, but the community is going to reward them for taking care of the community for sure. I mean, look at what Nike did with Artifact Studios. They bought Artifact Studios. They came out with an airdrop for CloneX holders, and they've made about $4.7 million in royalties from that. So the point is, this is a trend that's going to keep happening. ApeCoin just took it to a different level, brother. Like they got. I mean, I'm talking about. I have two Bored Apes and a mutant ape, so I was able to claim. Was it 22,240 ape coins? Right now, the price is $15. It's over $333,000. Real money that I can liquidate right now.
Right.
For me, that's a lot of fucking bread. That's a third of a milli. You know what I'm saying? So that's life changing money for a lot of people, and it's a testimony to how amazing Web 3.0 is. And I think the ApeCoin, with the roadmap and the utilities that they have laid out, virtual land and games, and just overall being the coin for the ecosystem for BAYC, we now also own CryptoPunks and MeBits, and and coming out with other projects. Obviously, I think that this is going to be a blue chip. It's already, like, as of yesterday, it was number 49 on Coin Market Cap in terms of valuation. Yeah, market cap valuation. So I mean, for a coin on day one to be number 49,
That's crazy.
with a company that's less than a year old, the sky's the limit, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It's exciting things, man. This is exciting.
100%, bro. We live in history. We in the
What were
midst
you
of it.
saying, bro?
I always tell people this is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll definitely experience in our lifetime. Maybe more will come, but for now, if you're not getting these airdrops, if you're not, making NFT money, it's really a symptom of you not positioning yourself right. You know what I mean? And that comes from you dismissing the opportunity, like, oh, this is not, this is some nerd stuff, or I don't want, I'm too stupid. People tell themselves this in their own head. I'm too stupid to understand what's going on. Well, I'll tell you, that's a lie. Because if you're smart enough to be able to access this content on YouTube, you're smart enough to be able to go on Instagram and send a DM, you can mint an NFC, you can buy an NFC.
100%.
You just need to get over your own head and get involved. You got to be
100%.
comfortable being uncomfortable. I mean, everything has a learning curve. And I feel like this is life-changing science, man. Like, we've never seen a technology that we benefited from instantly like this before.
100%.
Bro, you're speaking like straight facts. Like,
Yeah.
nah, you're right, bro. It's something you just got to get into. And everything has that kind of like uncomfortable moment where you just don't get it. You just got to stick with it. Well, I guess that kind of begs another question for you. Like, do you feel like you're still learning in this space? Do you feel like you
Well,
got
yeah.
it under control? Like, do you
Proof,
feel
man.
like
Every day.
how long of a time were you going through that confusion phase?
Man, I'm still learning every day, bro. I had to call someone yesterday, be like, how do I claim my ape coin?
Right.
I claimed that it's not in my MetaMask. Oh, you got to import the smart. Bro, I'm learning every day. I'm an older guy. I'm not like some 20-year-old guy out here. Like, but to me, a lot of this stuff is foreign to me. So, but I'm in, I'm shit. You know, one thing about Web 3.0 is they can't ban me. I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Time to eat.
I'm working on so many other things that I need technical assistance on. Like, I own the domain name Afrobeat.io. We're trying to create a music marketplace for the Afrobeat genre, which is probably the #1 type of music being released right now. And I can't do that by myself. I'm learning, in my community, we have about 2,200 people in the Discord. I have people helping me. I have community managers. I have, that's the beautiful thing about the community aspect of it is now you're around, you have the proximity of being around like-minded people with different knowledge levels. And, you can ask questions without feeling like people are judging you. You know what I mean? So, that's the cool thing about this space is, you don't have to know it all. No one knows it all. Everyone is still learning. The Bored Apes are still learning.
100%, bro. Nah, that's the life mentality to have for sure, man. For sure.
I mean, no one is a know-it-all. Anyone who knows it all should be a billionaire by now. And I don't know too many billionaires yet from NFTs.
There's a lot of niggas capping. A lot of capping there.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys like to show off their technical knowledge and, nerd flex.
Yeah.
Well, we see
too
like
hip to it.
nerd
it's
flex.
gonna be interesting to see like how this space continues to progress. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, don't want to take up too much of your time, bro. Appreciate
my man tapped in early, LA, man, 6:07 a.m.
Yeah, it's like 6
I know a lot of
o'clock
y'all
over there.
still sleep on the
So
West
that means
Coast.
you've been up since like 5 because we've been on here for like an hour.
Hey,
that's,
listen,
you know what I'm saying?
Crypto don't
Definitely
sleep.
appreciate your time,
Crypto
bro.
don't sleep.
Hey, bro, anything you like, can you tell the people where they could follow you, what they should be tapped into in terms of the projects and all that, man?
Yeah, for sure. I'm Ishmaeli on all the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram. But I really feel like every single person who watches this should definitely join the Rich Apes community. That's Rich Apes Club. It's not a shill. It's just a fact. It's real value. If we look at what the Bored Apes did, I feel like they set a template that we can replicate. And I'm going to say it on record, man. They're not cooler than us, right?
Hey.
They're not cooler than us. They might be technically smarter, but we can reverse engineer every technical thing they've done because it's on the blockchain. So my vision is to build a community where we get richer together with knowledge and applying knowledge. And we're already on our way. We're going to run those laps. Right now we're still community building. We would love to sell out every single Rich Ape out there. There's only 4,444 in the collection. They look better than the Bored Apes and the derivatives of Bored Apes, And I feel like we give more value than any NFC project out there. The fact that we have weekly classes, we've done 2 live events in Miami. We're going to keep doing more. I'm thinking about putting together some type of virtual conference just to give it more pump and more utility. And I'm just not going to stop, bro. Like, I'm going to still be here. I plan on making billions in this space. I know you guys are doing the same. And I feel like, we're very, very, very early. We're still in roll call, bro. And
100%. Hey, bro, I was gonna say too. So you're gonna be down there, NFT Miami, and the Bitcoin events and all that. I should be down there. I was gonna see if you're gonna be down there.
I'm speaking at NFC Miami.
Okay, lit.
So I was fortunate enough to be listed as a speaker. And in October, I'm going to be organizing my own NFC conference called the NFTconference.com.
Yep. Remember that? Yep.
So, we're here, man. Like, this is what I'm married to this game, man.
Yeah,
get it, bro.
Let's go. Yeah. So wait, one last time, because I definitely need to check those Rich Apes out. It's richapes.io.
It's richapes.club, but richapes.io should get you there as well.
Richapes.club.
Yeah, man, how to do that site. You know how to touch up that site, get it a little right.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna see what those Rich Apes talk about, bro.
Hey, bro,
Wanna
you
be
might get
part
a
of that
gold
community.
joint. Yeah, get the
Yeah,
Tui
I need
real
to be a
quick.
part
Get a
of this
Tui
community
for
for sure.
breakfast. You know what I'm saying?
Why
Yeah,
not?
man. Again, bro, like really appreciate you coming through, bro.
Love y'all.
And definitely hope to see you out there in Bitcoin Miami. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure,
Be
for
all right.
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll be
Have
there.
another conversation.
Miami's my second home, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
now,
it's lit.
yeah, he really be out there. Yeah,
It's
for
lit.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
bro.
right,
All right,
Yeah,
we definitely
appreciate
gonna
you,
be
bro.
out
We
there,
gonna
bro.
tap in.
Yeah,
Peace,
man.
bro.
Have a good one.